Welcome to Grow Getters with host Davis Michaelsen, who's looking for and discovering agriculture's most inventive side hustles. Grow Getters is sponsored by BASF. Get 0% financing on their top fungicides today. Talk to your retailer to get started.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Grow Getters. Thanks for tuning in. I am your pal, Davis Michaelsen, here with a couple of Grow Getters who have a heck of a story to tell. A married couple who are in cahoots together. I've got Bri and Dustin Osborne. We'll bring them in just a moment here. I have a couple of questions about what it's like running these sorts of businesses as a married couple. They're both licensed, experienced drone pilots. We're going to talk about some drone technology, but also the working relationship there. I'm very interested in that. Now, I'm going to read a quote for you here. With our ag-related businesses, it's always been important to us to treat other fields as if they were our own. There's definitely an agronomy component here that I'm anxious to bring out. They continue, if you are timely and do the job right, the business will continue to grow and be successful. Before we bring them in, there was one spot where I think it all started for them. And I'd like to express that in song. We'll bring him in after this and then see if I've gotten it right. But I think for Bri and Dustin, it kind of all started with manure, manure. Manure, manure. Manure, manure. Manure, manure. Manure, manure. Manure, manure. With that, let me bring in the Osbornes, Bri and Dustin. Welcome to Grow Getters. Great to have you here with us. Introduce yourselves just a little bit. Tell us about your operation.
Yeah, thank you. Good. That was a great song choice.
I'm glad you liked it.
I'm Bri, and
I'm Dustin.
we work together. We have Osborne Ag Services, and then my dad, who's not with us today. We also have Stagge Farms, and then the Manure operation, which is agronomics applications. So,
okay, so we're here to talk about that aspect of your guys' lives, but it all starts at the farm. Talk to us, Dustin, about your conventional farming operations. Where does it all go back to at the end of the day?
Well, I mean, her dad had the farm as the third generation.
yep, he
So
will be third generation.
Bri will be the fourth on that farm, and kind of the whole goal is to grow that operation. And we are a small fish in a big pond in our area, so we're surrounded by a couple really, really big operators. And for us to be able to compete and stay relevant, we had to venture out into the side businesses to be able to compete with some of the people around us.
Yeah. So talk to us about that first side business. Did it go well? Did it turn a profit? Did it go bust in 3 days? Talk to me about, the opening kickoff. How did it go?
Yeah, well, actually, my dad started draglining. Well, I guess I should say my grandpa tanked all of our manure. They've always had hogs on the farm.
Okay.
My dad saw the efficiency of a drag line, and he started doing it on his own. And our neighbor, who had quite a few hogs, they saw what he was doing, and they really liked that alternative when draglining was kind of newer. And that's how he got into doing custom work, just word of mouth, the neighbors seeing what he was doing. So he immediately, it took off. And I was in college. I had no agriculture background. I was not interested in coming back to the
Really?
farm.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to look at my life now, because that's I breathe it. So, yeah, he invited me to come back to the farm because the manure business had grown so much he couldn't keep up with farming and hauling manure.
Yeah.
So the manure business really took off, and that's what brought me back to the farm. And once I came back, it was probably about 2 years or a year and a half until I met Dustin, and we kind of pulled him into all our shenanigans and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I
that's
love
how
it.
we started.
Well, and let me ask you, Bri, because as we're taping this episode today, it happens to be my second wedding anniversary.
Oh, really?
And as I understand from your notes, you're right in that same zone there, about 2 years married. Is that right? Can I
Yep.
that?
Yep. Yep.
My wife, and I love her. I'm very excited about being married and everything, but it's 2 years now, and she's still telling people that we're newlyweds. And not that. If she walks to a store, she doesn't say it, she sings it. We're newlyweds. And we sing it back. Congratulations. Oh, newlyweds after 2 years? Where do you fall on this, Bri? Are you newlyweds?
Well, we're no, we work every day together. It's the newlywed was worn off pretty soon.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell my wife that you said that. I'm sorry. But somehow you both came together, coalesced around work at the farm there, and somehow it took a very technological direction. You're doing all sorts of drone services now, which I find absolutely fascinating. So much so, in fact, that I wrote a silly song about it. It goes a little something like this. Up and we spray with my agricultural technological drone. We'll never disrupt the soybean canopy. We'll minimize every risk of compacted soil. By chance, if you find yourself needing pesticide, they'll fly to your assistance and shower through resistance. Up and we spray with my agricultural technological drone. My drone! As you can see, I'm very excited by this drone technology. Give us a little bit of run down the list of all the different drone services that you all provide.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and take that?
So mainly, our main thing is fungicide and insecticide applications on wheat, corn, and soybeans. We do quite a bit of early wheat herbicide work just because a lot of times it's April, May, and around here we may not have the window to get a ground rig across it in that time. So, but pretty well anything that can be sprayed can almost be sprayed through the drones. We don't foresee ourselves. We don't do a lot of like burn down and post application work just because of the fact that you start running corn products that are 3 and 4 quarts of the acre. These are 2 gallon an acre application rates, and it doesn't get the coverage that I desire out of some of my post applications. But as far as the ultra concentrated solutions like the fungicides, insecticides, and harmonies, stuff that's lower rate per acre that we can still get good coverage on with 2 gallon the acre, they are phenomenal tools. Way more than what we ever thought we would do. We can do with them, and we've been really impressed with the luck we've had and everything we've done with them.
We also include with the spraying. We also have a spreader on there where we can spread cover crops as well. And then we have a small drone as well where we can go out and scout crops in an off, not in the spraying season or during the spraying season. If you want to take a look at anything, that's also there. The drones they're just amazing tools. When we first got into it, there was a T30 out, and they've come out with so many different models and makes. It's just
how long ago was that? How long have you been fiddling with these?
Since 2022.
Yeah, well, we started our business in 2022, but we chewed on it for about a year before we took the jump and bought a drone. It's crazy to think about that time back then because the only one in the area at that time was one guy. He had 2 drones, And since then, from one neighbor having a drone, we now have what, 10 in a 50-mile radius?
Probably. Close to it.
It's
10
exploding.
operators. I mean, and some of those operators have 5 to 6 drones. I mean,
Sure.
we have 3 and a small drone that we run, and we can keep all 3 of them busy. That's the thing about the drone industry is, at the end of the day, you're owning a spraying business. So like my background comes from, I was a 15-year custom applicator for Nutrient Ag Solutions and another small
Oh,
independent.
wow.
So my background was in chemistry, agronomy. That's what I lived every day. So when we were deciding what we wanted to do as our own business, the spray drones just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
The drone's a tool. At the end of the day, it's all about knowing what you're putting on, knowing what you're applying.
Sure.
And so that's kind of the downfall of the industry, is there's a lot of people that are getting into it because it's really a hype thing right now that don't necessarily know that. But so you'll hear sometimes that there's people out there that kind of say, well, drones strike my field. I've had a couple of people say the same thing to me, and I'm like, and it's more that these people, they are still tools, they're still spraying equipment. We still have to calibrate them. We still have to test them. We still have to know what we're doing with them. And that's kind of the downfall of the industry. But if you know what you're doing with these tools, they are a very viable tool and very, very important tool that we use now in our farming operation.
We will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
We can't control the weather. We can't affect the global demand for corn and soy. We can't even fix that piece of equipment you swear is still good if you just have the right part. But BASF can offer you 0% financing on our proven, consistent performing fungicides. Our grower finance program is here to help you maximize your yield potential and savings with 0% APR on some of the highest performing fungicides available until March 15th, 2025. Because now more than ever, every dollar counts, and you can't beat 0% financing on innovative corn and soybean fungicides like Revitech fungicide, Revilock fungicide, and Veltima fungicide. Keep more in your wallet while improving your yield potential. Talk to your BASF retailer today about the Grower Finance Program to lock in 0% APR. Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions. See BASF Grower Finance Program for details. Always read and follow label directions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're out there in the gut slot of corn country in Indiana there. Did it take a minute for farmers to kind of warm up to this idea? I know that the traditional roots run deep. I'm an Iowa boy, I know how these guys think about this stuff. But, on so many levels, this can be such a great tool. As you said, at the beginning, was there pushback because it was too fancy, too modern, or anything like that?
Actually, funny story. My father was not a believer in it.
Is that right?
No, he old school. I mean, he's had fungicides applied by helicopter, plane, ground rig, and with drones being so new, there was some research out there, but farming, people stick to their roots, and they do what they know.
Sure.
So we knew, we had faith in it. We tested it ourselves, and had plenty of conversations with other people who had drones before we did, to know that they were proven to work. And we knew at the end of the day, the investment we made, we would at least cover our own acres. But no, we were blown away by our first year. We had more business than we ever could imagine. We made a goal of so many acres, and we surpassed it by quite a bit our first year. And our second year, we've doubled our business. So it's been amazing. We are very fortunate to have good customers, and it helps. Dustin was in the spray business. He knew a lot of contacts. And we kind of partnered with Nutrient in our area, with customers and whatnot. So we've been pretty fortunate to have that aspect.
Bri, you said something there that I think is very important for our viewers who are maybe thinking about starting a business or who may already be in that first year of their business. You said that you set a goal, and that can be anything, no matter what the business. There are little milestones, little rungs on that ladder as you climb your way up that you can mark out for yourself to know, hey, this is actually going pretty well. I've already reached this goal here. I think
Mhm.
that's a really great approach to starting a business and to keeping your thoughts focused on what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah, and with the spray business, it's so different because I feel like in agriculture, there's so much that goes into building that, and it's hard to turn a profit your first year with any business, let alone agriculture.
Amen.
So we knew we wanted a goal where we felt comfortable with our investment, and that really kind of kept our eyes on the goal as we moved through the year. And yeah, that first year we were after we got through fungicide season, we were so happy. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's terrific. With that, let me and after this, I'm gonna sing you one more song, but then I want you to think about that one who may be watching right now. We talked about setting a goal. That's a great place to start. But maybe that person who's a farm kid or just married a farm kid, and is thinking about a side business. Boy, what would that even look like? Think about that as we proceed here. Osborne Ag, hey, the future is now. You'll never need to walk the fields or milk a goat. Application of chemical fertilizer and cover crops. Hey, they'll scout them too. Excavation, but only light. For hunting lanes and building paths or a new driveway. Osborne Ag on the Grow Getter Show. Okay. Application, excavation. Talk to me about this excavation just a little bit before we move on. Dustin, have shovel will travel. Is that the gag?
Well, a little more than that.
All right.
We've got a Bobcat Mini and a case skid steer that we've got mulchers for. So we'll go around, do some field edge clearing. A lot of it we use on our own place. It's kind of the whole everything that we do kind of stems to we got something that we can use on our own stuff, but
Yeah.
okay, we have this tool now, so let's see if we can go make a little money with it. I
Yeah.
mean, the drone, like I said, everything is one of those things that our business all ties back to the original operation.
Mhm.
We can use this tool here, but we also use this tool to create some income. So we'll go clear field edges, fix driveways, pretty well anything you can think of to do with them,
Yeah.
we'll do. It's not really anything set in stone, and it's not really our biggest thing. The drones by far are the biggest
Oh, I
thing of
bet.
our Osborne Ag Service. It's kind of just honestly more of a time filler. When I say time filler, like we're not busy enough, but it's kind of a wintertime, early spring, late fall kind of thing
Okay.
where we'll pick up some jobs here and there just to keep money flow coming in.
Yeah. Well, and there's that idea of sort of using your own farm as a proving ground to go out and try out the drones and see how this works. Hey, let's see if we can grow pumpkins here. Let's, whatever that side business may be, to have that proving ground in the farm there. What a valuable resource. I want to talk about before time gets away from us. I don't want to keep you too long here, but there's somebody out there watching this thinking, I don't know. I know that I need to do something else here. I'm on the farm. I've got this idea. Um, would one of you talk to that person and just give them a little pep talk? Talk about maybe those scary moments. I don't think I can do this. It's completely impossible. Walk us through some of those moments, can you please?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, as long as they're if especially if it's a farm kid wanting to be back at the farm, as long as you're bringing value back, we were pretty well dead set that as if we didn't have any business, it's still a benefit to have that on your own farm to use. You're still saving the farm money because in other cases you'd be hiring that out.
Right.
So that was kind of the pill we had to swallow, for both our excavating and our grain weevil venture that we're into as well, and with the drones. At the end of the day, we knew we were going to benefit ourselves and the farm. And it wasn't just a jump off the ledge with no return in sight.
Yeah.
Because that was a big thing, the investment, is it worth it? And if you're going to have the business around you and the competition, but you're still going to benefit yourself at the end of the day, and your farm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a great job of keeping yourselves busy with the drone stuff and with the light excavation stuff that you're doing there. Osborne Ag, is there some way that we can get in touch with you all if folks locally there are looking for a little drone spray or maybe some light excavation work?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page that we have under Osborne Ag Services LLC. We're also listed on Agri-Spray Drones website. We're service dealers for them as well with our contact info. And then we also are listed on a grainweevil.com site for the grain weevil robots that we do as well. So
that's something that we didn't talk about. Dustin, run us down the grain weevil robot for the bin safety. Bin safety is so important. These things can be so dangerous. Help us out here just real quick.
So Grain Weevil is a startup company out of Nebraska. Very new company, but they are very, very passionate about what they're doing, and they've got a good product. So there's only about 30 to 40 of these in the country right now, and we've got 3 of them. So we're part of what they call their Bin Assist network.
Yeah,
and we are partnered with Grain Weevil. There's another guy in northern Indiana that's kind of handling northern Indiana. We're kind of handling all of southern Indiana, but we are a partnership with them where we're kind of their test dummies. I mean, they know these things are really good, and they are really good, but they also know there's some little kinks to work out before they become available to the general public and manufactured. So we kind of are getting in at the ground level. Honestly, I didn't think we'd have a whole lot of interest in our area for their services at first, but it was kind of one of those deals where we both saw them run. We went to a demo up in northern Indiana with one of their guys, and once we saw them run, we were like, this is going to be something. And I think over the next 4 or 5 years, this company is really going to continue to grow and do well. They're working on getting all their Class 2 Div 1 stuff so they can be into commercial facilities, because right now they're only being able to run on farms. They can't really go to like an ADM or a CGB and run.
Okay.
But that's going to be their next phase, and that's what they're working on now. And I think when they get to that point, it's going to be such a thing where all your elevators are going to want one of these. I mean, they're keeping people out of the bin. They're going to save countless lives as they go. And whenever we thought they were going to be something, we looked at and we're like, if we can save one person in a grain bin around us in the next 2 years, it's worth the investment. Mm-hmm. We've had 3 or 4 people trapped in bins within 30 or 40 miles of us in the last 2 years that I can know of right now. And if we can keep one person out of a bin that's crusted up or nasty and keep them from going through and keep them going home to their family at night, then it's 100% worth it.
Bri and Dustin Osborne, I'm going to cut you loose with this. I really appreciate your approach here. What I'm hearing is that you use the resources that you had, stuff that you might have already been doing anyway, and then took that and turned it into what sounds like a very flourishing, a very busy set of businesses for you there in Indiana. You've been very generous with your time, the both of you, Dustin and Bri Osborne. Thanks for being with us on Grow Getters today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Production support provided by Jack Heffron and Zach Zingula. Find Grow Getters on Farm Journal's YouTube channel and listen to it wherever you find your favorite podcasts. So for Farm Journal Studios and Grow Getters, I'm your pal, Davis Michaelsen. Thanks for watching, and hey, get out there and grow get 'em, everybody.
Grow Getters is a production of Farm Journal Studios, where no one grows alone.